This is your WW3 news of a Monday afternoon. Basically, practically all day in RAF Akrotiri, which is situated in Cyprus, which was under red alert due to a invasion of a drone. Obviously, it was treated as an attack, as military protocol in these cases adopted. And it was a drone which crashed land in the end on one of those takeoff lanes, landing lanes for military aircraft. And obviously the sirens were sounded, air raid ones. And not only shortly afterwards, the sirens sounded again. So-called incoming ballistic missiles from some foreign origin. Obviously, it's obviously suspect Iranians at this point, because they have reason to believe it was an Iranian drone which invaded NATO airspace with so much ease. One of these things can sneak through without being detected. Is astonishing, let alone the hypersonic missiles. There's nothing can stop them until it doesn't hit its target. And the Iranian regime has vowed a vengeance for the death of their leader, the Ayatollah, obviously murdered by the Israelis and Americans during these bombing campaigns. But mind you, it was absolutely astonishing in the 48 hours on attack by the Americans and Israelis how they managed to respond. The Iranians, they managed to target 11 countries at the same time, and it goes to show how their military capacity is. As they said, we are using our old stock, let alone they're going to start using the more advanced gear. Presumably they use hypersonic vectors, and that is really scary. And plus advanced drone technology, I think they're one of the top 5 countries which they export this type of drone technology to anyone. And the capacity of these ballistic missiles I said, is astonishing. In all these years, they've been silently creating their own rocket industry. And obviously MI5 and all the intelligence, especially in the United Kingdom, has put on alert, because Starmer only afterwards admitted English bases were used as some type of logistic support for the Americans to carry out attacks. And the French aircraft carrier Gaulle, Charles Gaulle, which is called, is heading towards the Mediterranean. And in that area, you've got the Germans already involved in the Ukraine war with the Russians. Now we'll get themselves involved with the Iranians, you know, it's absolutely bonkers. They have vowed they will strike European targets, not just with missiles, but with sleeping missiles, which MI5 has launched an alarm to the British public regarding this. And obviously there's a lot of Muslim people out there pissed off due to this attack. Attacking a sovereign country like Iran. It goes against any international law you can think of. If the Iranians retaliate in such a way, more ruthless, more brutal, more hard-hitting, I don't say they weren't provoked. They were provoked. Because this is what probably the collective West wanted. To spark off a whole series of regional wars. Because thinking you can take down Iran is not an easy job. Then afterwards you can pass on to Russia. And their main goals, China. I think someone in the American government had somehow disclosed it so many years ago, so this is nothing new, it's all been planned. And we got to think, if these ballistic missiles, which they currently use as standard, and have such a quantity, the Iranians, and if they start using the more advanced stuff, what distances and speeds they're capable they can travel. Obviously hypersonic vectors will probably use, they've got that technology. Probably some nuclear warhead supplied by some friendly power, Pakistan, North Korea, China, or even Russia. It's hunting season is open, and the thing is, we are all targets in this case, one way or the other, regarding this escalation in global conflict. Some say it could even spark off an escalation towards World War III. As Albert Pike said, World War III will be caused by the Islamic issue and in that part of the world. And obviously the verses of the Bible of 2,500 years ago regarding Armageddon Revelation, if you read the chapters of that, you'll be amazed the similarity, the events which are taking place today, which they written 2,500 years ago. The fact is, Iran has a history of 5,000 years regarding America and some other Western countries. Their real history, 1,000 years. So you're going against the most antique culture and nation on this earth known to man. And they're not pushover like Iraq was. They have demonstrated what they're capable of and what they've got in their arsenal. The newest stuff yet to reveal. You know, attacking Iran wasn't a wise idea at all. You're just going to piss off a whole bunch of Muslims in the millions throughout the world, which is happening. You think taking down the Ayatollah will be any benefit to humanity. No. I think it was a lot more better you would have left him where he was, alive. And don't interfere in other people's internal affairs and politics, like the West usually does. Because this way, only asking for trouble, you create enemies like this. They don't pop out from nowhere.